Today, I want to talk to you all about something that happened to me 3 years ago. This is a story that's very personal to me. I had a heart attack 3 years ago. Not just any heart attack, but a Widowmaker heart attack. And statistically, a Widowmaker heart attack, most people don't survive. I had 98% blockage, and I created a video 3 years ago, shortly after having my heart attack, just discussing the process and the symptoms leading up to my heart attack. I wanted to capture this while it was still fresh in my mind. And so I put everything on video, and today I want to share that story with you all. And if you are a retiree or someone who has experienced a serious medical condition and you think that you are not able to move overseas because you are concerned about the level of health care and that would be afforded to you or that you could actually receive, don't let that stop you, because, and I will get into this further after the video, like, consider. So in this video that I recorded 3 years ago, shortly after I had the heart attack, I just wanted to share my story, hoping that it will help someone else and give other people insight on what to look for. And so now that we are considering moving abroad, healthcare is extremely important to me and to my husband, to make sure that not only I can receive the proper care if something happens, but also for him. And so we will get into all of those things after the video, to include touring a couple of hospitals, as well as medical costs and different insurances that is accepted in Vietnam and Thailand. So stay tuned as we get into the video. So I woke up with acid reflux, with backwash in my mouth, having to spit up and run to the bathroom out of my sleep, which was kind of scary, a little bit frightening. But I am like brushing it off. Of course, I'm not thinking that there's anything serious going on. The next night, again, I woke up out of my sleep with backwash in my mouth, having to run to the bathroom. In addition, my throat was burning for a couple of days. Like, at least all week, my throat was burning. It felt like my throat was on fire. My neck was hurting. My stomach was upset, a little bit gassy. And then I was downstairs. I was playing dominoes with my husband. I told him I didn't feel good. I wanted to go upstairs and lay down. I came upstairs and I just kept pushing on my chest. My throat again was bothering me and was burning. And I'm pushing on my chest. I'm like laying over the bed. I'm standing up, but I'm bending over on the bed, pushing on my chest. And so I decided to Google sore throat or pain in my throat, shoulders, neck hurting, arm hurting, which was my left arm, and acid reflux. And when I Googled the symptoms, it came up as possible heart attack. In my mind, I'm thinking, there is no way I'm having a heart attack. Like, I don't think so. So I'm thinking maybe it's COVID, because I was just on the airplane returning from my niece's funeral, who had passed in a tragic car accident. I had just returned from LA, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I got COVID on the plane from someone. So I go downstairs and I tell my husband, hey, I'm going to go to the doctor. I'm going to go to the ER. So basically, after it sat with me for a while, that, I'm thinking in my mind, heart attack, possible heart attack. Initially, like I said, I just ignore my search, the results of my search, and I like just brush it off to the side, like I'm not having a heart attack. But after it sat with me for about 30 minutes, I'm like, I better go to the doctor just in case. So I decide to go to the ER, and I tell my husband I'm going to the ER. My throat is burning. My chest is hurting a little bit. Maybe it's COVID. I'm just going to drive myself because they're not allowing a lot of people, additional people into the hospital. So I drive myself to the hospital. And on the way, I'm thinking, this can't be a heart attack. Like, what is going on? So I go to the hospital, and there are not any other people there, just myself, but they sent me outside again because of COVID. I sit outside for about 5 minutes, and they call me to the back. And as soon as I go to the back, I throw up, and then I throw up again, and then I throw up again, and I throw up again. And I tell the nurse that my chest is hurting. So they run some tests, and they do an EKG on me, and it comes back that um, out of sort or what have you. And so they do some blood work. They take me to the back, and they don't give me the results and or tell me like what's going on. They just like put me on an IV. The doctor comes to talk to me, but she doesn't tell me that I'm having a heart attack. I'm guessing this is because they don't want me to worry. So I'm sitting in the ER room, my phone in my hand, texting my husband, and after about 3 hours or so, so this is like the middle of the night. So it's now about 2 o'clock in the morning. The nurse comes in, and I ask, am I having a heart attack? And he says, that's exactly what you're having. And so, I text my husband like, hey, I'm having a heart attack. And I don't get like all crazy. I feel safe because I'm at the hospital. Whatever medication they gave me, it's working. My throat is not burning as much. I don't have the pressure in my chest anymore. They transfer me over to another hospital where they have a cardiology department, and they transfer me over in an ambulance, and they roll me into cardiology ICU. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, cardiology ICU, what the hell? And so I'm still not realizing like the impact of like what's going on. And they decide to run some additional tests like an echocardiogram, they do an ultrasound, they look at my arteries, and they determine that I cannot wait until Monday for surgery, that I have to go into emergency surgery on Sunday. And they call the cardiologist in. They determined that, as I said earlier, that I have 95% blockage in my heart. What I want to say to you guys is that an EKG is not enough to determine if you have heart problems. You should have an echocardiogram done. This will look at the arteries of your heart and tell you if you have any blockage. It is only by the grace of God that I made it through. God said it's not your time yet. It's not your turn. It's only by the grace of God with 95% blockage that I made it through. I'm not a person to go to the ER often, but I went this particular time because I Googled, and it said possible heart attack. I'm not thinking because I have burning in my throat, and I have severe acid reflux that I'm having a heart attack. Listen to your body, people. Listen to your body. If you have acid reflux, get tested. Get your heart tested. If you have pain in your throat, pain in your shoulders, your upper shoulders, in your back, go to your doctor and get tested. Don't wait. Listen to the signs and the symptoms of your body talking to you. One of the things that I was concerned about in our scouting trip to Southeast Asia was if I would be able to get my medication while in Southeast Asia, and so one of the things that I did was I walked into a pharmacy in Bangkok and I also walked into a pharmacy in Vietnam. Unfortunately, I did not record my experience walking into the pharmacy in Thailand, but I did record my experience walking into a pharmacy in Vietnam. And needless to say, it was overall a great experience. I walked into the store, spoke with the pharmacist, and requested, my medications that I'm currently on. A lot of them have different names, but they are essentially the same medication. So one of my main medications for my heart is metoprolol, and they did cover this, or I'm sorry, they did have this in prescription, but I didn't need a prescription when I walked in. I was just able to walk in, tell the pharmacist what I wanted. She pulled the medication from the shelf, and I was able to purchase the medication right there on the spot with no prescription. So I think it's important for everyone to, check and make sure that your prescriptions are available to you out there. And if not, then see if you can get a mail order delivery for your prescription. Now, my prescription here in the United States, because I have Tricare, are very affordable. I pay between $5 to $7 per prescription. There, the metoprolol was only $4 and a few cents, so also very affordable. So if you already have a record of your prescriptions, then just make sure, of course, to carry those prescriptions with you. If you don't want to see a doctor first and just need those prescriptions, you still would be able to get them there. Now, while in Southeast Asia, we did not personally visit a hospital on this particular trip. However, we did do a deep dive on YouTube looking for, just looking and researching various hospitals in Thailand and in Vietnam, and just to see what an inside of the hospital actually looked like. And surprisingly, these hospitals are all state-of-the-art hospitals. These are not third world countries. These are countries who have a huge infrastructure in place for healthcare, and that was really nice to see. And surprisingly, a lot of these hospitals were either remodeled, like Bangkok Hospital, or new hospitals like Med Park Hospital. Med Park tends to cater towards expats and retirees. It is a private hospital, a little bit more on the expensive side for Thailand. Nonetheless, it is still affordable in comparison to the United States prices. And we'll get into that in just a moment. And then Bangkok Hospital, which actually has a heart wing where I can trust that I'm going to get the best care that I could possibly get. And so that was really nice to see. We used some YouTube videos in this particular video just to give you guys a tour of the different hospitals there. We wanted to share that with you so you can actually see the inside of a hospital and what the hospital actually looks like in the different wings of the hospital. So we thank the YouTubers who was able to provide us with that video for us to share with. So one of the things that is really great about Thailand hospitals is that Bangkok Hospital specifically accepts Tricare and Tricare Prime. So Tricare Prime is for beneficiaries. So myself, my husband was in the military for 22 years and retired as a lieutenant colonel. Not that that really matters, but so he will be able to get care directly from the hospital and not Tricare, but with him being in the military for those 22 years. And so it's great to know and provides us peace of mind to know that Bangkok Hospital actually accepts insurance from the US for military vets and for their families. So Tricare Prime, like I mentioned, is for beneficiaries, which is a separate insurance that I would use from my husband because I was not active duty. And so I would be covered 100%. There would be no fees or anything due. My prescriptions would be comparable to what I pay here, which is relatively low. But if you do not have Tricare or you were not in the military, then obviously, you would have to look into an insurance plan that would fit your needs. Now, I did do some research on a hospital stay, and I was able to find online that to stay in the hospital overnight at Bangkok Hospital would cost approximately $273 a night, which is super affordable. This includes your nurse. So for the room itself, it would be $162 a night. $162 a night, you guys. Nursing is $68 per night. Meals are roughly $30, but I understand you get a coupon, and so your meals are deducted if you're staying overnight. Hospital fees are $11. And so the total for the night for hospital care at Bangkok Hospital averages about $273 a night. This is the price for a presidential suite, which includes a private room with a twin size and full service. In the United States, as we know, this $273 would cover a pill, maybe one pill. So the cost is super affordable for healthcare. Next, we looked at Med Park Hospital, and although at this time I cannot confirm that they do accept Tricare, what I can tell you is that they are a hospital that specializes in providing care to expats and foreigners. So with that said, I would imagine that they accept various different types of insurance. Also, they have a list of their insurance partners on their website, which I am sharing with you guys as well. If you want to get a full medical screening package from MedPark, that's just like a full checkup, the average cost is from $198 to around $1,200. So just depending on what you want and your age. Of course, if you are over 45, I believe, and you want an entire workup, then that cost is going to be around $1,200. And you will see in the video is a list of things that they show you what is included in that $1,200 and the types of screening. So you can see that you will have thorough care, and oftentimes the results are provided to you on the spot. Here you will see that there are 32 insurance partners that MedPark partners with, from Alliance to Cigna, and some of your more common names that you are aware of, such as Aetna. So if you have any of these insurances, then rest assured you are in good hands and will not need additional insurance. However, if you don't have insurance and you need to get insurance, insurance in Southeast Asia runs about $1,200 annually. So $1,200, I'm sorry, up to $2,200 annually. So anywhere from, let's say, $1,200 to $2,200 annually for an insurance plan. So it may be more affordable for you to drop the insurance that you have in the United States and purchase insurance abroad, where it will be more affordable and you will have complete care coverage in your insurance. Healthcare overseas isn't just affordable, but maybe even more accessible. Now, I'm no doctor. I would recommend that you do your research, which would be very important, of course. If you are over the age of 45 and you're thinking about moving abroad or relocating overseas, specifically to Southeast Asia, and you are living with a health condition, I hope that this information that I was able to provide you today, that you found it to be useful and helpful, and that it will help you in making your decision on if you think you can move abroad with a health condition. And I hope that it helps you plan confidently in your decision on what to do in dealing with the health condition and moving abroad. If this video brought you peace of mind, answered your questions, brought you more questions, please feel free to reach out, leave a comment, and I will respond to you as quickly as I can.